guys, in this video I'm walking you through a quick lesson on bluegrass rhythm. I'm just going to be playing a G chord, and I'm going to break this exercise down into 4 tips that you can use to help your rhythm hand along. Alright, so tip number 1, very quick, is to keep your arm planted, but a lot of the movement here is going to be in your wrist, okay? I see a lot of new beginners, they tend to move their arm around. Sometimes I do it too, or it comes further away from the guitar between strums. Really lock your wrist into place, find a nice comfortable position. Sorry, lock your arm into place. Find a comfortable position and work your wrist, about like that motion there. So be aware, as you're speeding up your playing, it's a lot right there in your wrist, right? Alright, tip number 2 is to understand that in bluegrass music, folk music, country music, a really big noticeable element of it is you're alternating between your root notes, alright? So in this case, we're playing a G chord, and our root notes are a G, right there, 3rd fret on that low E string, and then a D, right there, okay? So the idea is that we are actually going to be like mimicking what an upright bass player would play in this music, or an electric bass, or whatever. They're playing that 1 and 5, or they're playing the root notes of that chord, whatever chord they're on, right? So you might hear the bass going, right? And in general, as we're starting to play bluegrass music, we want to find those root notes. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be playing like those root notes every single time you strum. As a matter of fact, you won't be. But to practice this style of music and the associated rhythm, that's a good place to start, all right? So just to expand that out further, if you were playing like a C chord, your 2 root notes would be right here, right? All right, and that brings me to tip number 3, and that is the actual rhythm itself. Alright guys, real quickly, I am using the Strum Machine app. This app is great for learning bluegrass music. It's chock full of tunes that you can take instruments in and out of and practice along with it. And here's a sponsored link if you so choose to use this, to download this for yourself. Just know that a portion of my earnings that I make from this channel and anything associated with it will go into helping the youth of Appalachia learn bluegrass music in person. That way they don't turn into internet zombies tomorrow when they rule the world. Alright, let's get back into it. Alright, so what I'm doing here, and I'm going to explain it as easiest as I can, is keeping into consideration those 2 root notes, right? What I'm effectively doing is I'm going root note, strum down, up, as I pick that 2nd root note, and then I'm repeating that. So slowly it'll sound like pick, down, up, pick, down, up, pick, down, up. Emphasize those root notes, alright? Okay, so putting it all together, it'll sound like this. Okay, actually there might be 5 tips in this video, but the next tip to get this bluegrassy sounding G chord is a subtle but very, very important hammer-on between the 2nd and 3rd fret there, okay? So all I'm doing is just sort of hammering that on every opportunity I get, basically, right? You don't have to do this. It's important to learn it over time, but you don't have to do this with every strum. Alright, and that's going to give you that really bluegrassy sounding twang, right? Okay, just to kind of sidetrack there, I know I said we're just playing a G chord, but like when we are thinking of different chords, let's see if that same concept works in different places, okay? For example, we got a C chord, right? And if we know that if we're hammering on from there to there to get a cool sounding twang, you know, whatever note sequence, we can do the same thing on a C chord. Alright? And if you know that across different chords, right, then you apply those concepts and you start getting cool sounds. And the last tip that I'll give you here is in this exercise, I'm playing what I call like a half G run, or the second half of a G run, okay? And The idea behind this is I'm playing, here's the G run in full. Instead of playing that first part, I'm just kind of playing a variation of that second part, right? So, all right, so we'll go. Right there. Alright guys, there's a quick introductory lesson on bluegrass rhythm. Hope you found this helpful. In the comments, leave me some love. Tell me what you're working on, what you'd like me to help you with, if anything. And until next time, adios.